John, I guess you're reading my mind. I don't want to preview the 5 now, but my other big storyline on the men's side I want to watch is just the Jakob Ingebrigtsen show. Watch him go to try to repeat in the 1500 and then move up to the 5, and then the clash down with whoever won the 10. Oh my God, that's going to be epic, assuming he wins the 15. Now, I read you while you were on the road today. I read your 1500-meter preview. You put it up. I put it up, and it's pretty interesting. John's got some really good stats in there. If you haven't read the article yet, you had a stat in there, John, looking back at the last 4 global outdoor championships. And basically, every time someone's kind of tried to take it from the front and go pretty fast and just win it by outrunning everybody. And it's only worked one time. And it's the one that we remember, the Olympics last year. But a 25%
No,
success
it's not.
ratio.
It's the World Championships for 2019. It did not work in the Olympics last year because Timothy Cheruiyot was the guy who tried to lead it, and he got outkicked by Jakob Ingebrigtsen.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah. And then you have this analysis of like how to win this race. Why was Cheruiyot able to do it in 2019? And you're just like, because he was way better than everybody that year. You know, he was like 2 seconds faster than everyone else in the field. And that's why he was able to win it. And Ingebrigtsen's not 2 seconds better than everybody this year. He's only like 1 second. Is that enough? And I was reading this, John, and John Kellogg was in the room. And John Kellogg's always telling me about how much drafting works and how much it helps. And the way he thinks about it is like, if John ran a race in a pack versus running, like if you ran a mile in a pack where you're perfectly rabbited the whole way, you know, let's say you're finishing third, versus if you went out and just ran a mile time trial. He's like, look, it's at least a second a lap slower running on your own. He thinks the drafting is worth 5 seconds. Now, the difference is that when you're often drafting, you're often in the back of the pack, you're running more distance though. But just like if you can run a 4 flat mile perfectly rabbited, you're going to go out and run by yourself. You're going to run 4:05. So that would imply you almost need to be 5 seconds better, but not really, because the guys behind you, if you're in the front and you're having to work it, if you're a second slower per lap, the guys behind you are running extra distance, etc. But when he was telling me this, I said, well, John, then how do you explain some of these times? They've still run 3:29 from the front, right? Is that what he wanted in, John? 2019?
Yes, Timothy Cheruiyot.
I said, that doesn't make any sense. And John said, oh, yeah, it does. I said, well, what do you mean? 5 seconds? We got to take away 5 seconds. If he's rabbited, that would be 3:24. John didn't even blink. He's like, yeah.
Well, John's wrong.
He said, I think with the new shoes and a rabbit the whole way, these guys could run 3:22.
Wait, what? Wait, correct me if I'm wrong. The record's 3:26.00.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was set 23 years ago, 24 years ago, and hasn't. Like the only guy who's run that close, there's been 2 guys who've run that close, like 3:26 since that. And one of them was Pop for EPO.
Right. And no one has come close with the new shoes, which is the weird thing. Because I saw people discussing on I think it was some high school thing or something. Like, there's no proof the shoes make a difference. And yeah, why aren't these guys running faster? They're only running 3:29, 3:28. How does John explain that?
I don't know. This is the first time I pushed him on this, and he just said he thinks like I said, how could Jakob have run? Because Jakob ran 3:28 last year, and he had to lead the first lap, and he had to lead the last. Well, I guess only the last 120, right?
Yeah.
So that would be, let's say, if it's second lap, it's 1.5. So that would be 3:27 if he hadn't had to lead any of it. But he's like, well, Garouche didn't have the rabbit the whole way. El Garouche only had the rabbit for what, 1,000, 1,200. But he says, yeah, I think these guys could run faster if they, like a Kipchoge type thing where you have pacers the whole way. He's saying certainly 3:25 or faster. So it was interesting. But this got me nervous, and I've been worried about this the whole time. You know, what should Ingebrigtsen do? I think he's going to try to take it. If I'm him, I just don't try. He tried to do it at World Indoors, and we had the excuse of, oh, COVID cost him. But I'm just not convinced that he's. I don't know, John. Do you think he should just turn it into a time file from the start? John Kellogg and I were debating it and saying, get to the front and make it a little bit slower and just squeeze it down. The guys behind you, It's like the Matthew Centrowitz. Yes, Centrowitz won the whole Olympics. It's hard to be in the front, but if you're in the front, everyone behind you is running way extra distance. They're battling it out. They're wasting energy. They're nervous. They're trying to not step on each other, etc. And John's like, look, his 800 PB is not that good, but even if it's 62 for the first 400s, John's like, I think he can run 147 for the last 800. He's like, that might not be enough to win it, but it's going to be hard to beat if the guys are behind him.
I think that's what I would do. I think you let someone else take the first lap. Ideally, it's going to be like a 60 or something. It's not you're jogging and you're running a 70, but don't try to go and run the entire 1500 meters in the front, but somewhere from 1,000 to go to 800 to go to the front and squeeze it down. Because how does Jakob win these diamond leagues? It's not with some monster kick on the last lap. He's not closing in like 51. And but what he does do is he does a really fast penultimate lap, and by that point you only need to close in about 54 or 55 because most of the other guys are still hurting. So you want to get to the bell, you want to make sure those guys are hurting. You don't want to make sure that the big kickers have their big kick saved up. And I guess in this field, I'm not even sure who the big kickers would be. Like the way that Chariot has changed Chariot and Ingebrigtsen, they made this a front running event. We haven't seen a ton. Like I guess Samuel Tefera he would be a big kicker, but he might not even be in the final. He's the world indoor champion. He's the only guy to beat Ingebrigtsen this year in a 1500 a mile. But he's also made it to a global championship 3 times outdoors. He's never made it to the final. So huge question mark there. I guess Chariot is not known as a kicker. Ollie Hoare, Abel Kipsang, I think those are the other 2 guys. Those are the 2 guys most likely to challenge for the gold. I don't know if they have a reputation as someone who like slams it home on the last, 51 lost lap. And maybe Jakob can do that too. The truth is, like, we're saying, oh, he's not a huge kicker, but it's based on him getting out kicked in a couple races, World Juniors in 2018 when he was 17, and World Euro Indoors in 2019 when he was 18 years old. So I think maybe one of the reasons we haven't seen it is because he knows he's not a huge kicker and he doesn't want to get in that kind of race. But yeah, if I were him, I'd go from 1,000 to 800 to go and try to ratchet it down.
Okay, wait. I just had an epiphany. The rest of these guys aren't that good, except for Timothy Chariot. Timothy Chariot on his A game is, one of the best ever. I think Jakob's out level. These other guys, what do you call them? Just sort of.
Don't call them spares. Well, then do not call them spares.
I can't say B teamers. They're good, but they're not all time greats. Like they're just sort of like the guys who are good at their generation. It's like the 4th-ranked tennis player right now. I don't know who the hell that is. It's not Federer. It's not Djokovic. So I don't think Chariot's what he once was. I think if Jakob runs a smart race, he wins this thing. Could he lose? Yes.
I think you're underrating Abel Kipsang. I think Kipsang is very good. And he was 4th at the Olympics last year. He's only 3rd at World Indoors. But he ran 3:31 flat in Nairobi earlier this year. Then he won Diamond Leagues in Doha, in Birmingham. He was a little tired and got beat at Pre. But he won the Kenyan trials. He's the African Championships winner this year. Okay, he hasn't got the global hardware yet to back it up, but I think he's a really, really good runner. It wouldn't shock me if he wins this race.
Whoa, wait a second. I see a lot of first place here, John. Hold on, let me sort by date. I just sorted by 1,500. All I saw was first place. Okay, I'm looking here. I guess he's won pretty much everything this year, except for World Indoors, which is a big question mark, but he doesn't do a big indoor season. Pre-Classic, 4th place. What happened there?
It was his 4th race in 4 continents in 3 weeks. The dude was just tired.
That's a good excuse. It's also the biggest outdoor race of the year, though, John, except for the Olympics.
It wasn't this year. I mean, the Bislett games went faster. I mean, yes, the field was better at Pre, but
yeah.
All right.
I do think that he's quite good. But is he past his peak?
That's a fair concern. That is a fair concern.
I really like the Chepta guy. I've always said, hey, if you get one of these African talents and give them like Western coaching, like Mo Farah, what happens? And they really just focus on a few events, domination. So Chepta guy's doing that. That's why I'm moving my 10,000 pick to him. Keep saying, I don't know. I'm just fascinated. This is why the 1500 is such a good event, because the tactics play a role. You know, Gert Ingebrigtsen's like, he'll never lose again. I'm like, I don't know, man. I do think the one thing that Jakob might have going for him. Well, Jakob, though, let's see how his workout's going. I think he was just a little disappointed that he didn't set the European record in that mile in Oslo. And he was so confident indoors. Like, I'm just going to blow him away. I'm wondering now, is he going to still be as confident? He's young, though, so maybe he thinks I'm just going to do it. And he might lose that way. But I do think Timothy Chariot, I don't necessarily think he cares as much about winning or losing. He just wants to get a medal and do his best. I think for some reason, even though I would advise against it, he may just take it again. Like, it's probably not his best way to win, but it certainly probably ensures that he medals.
I don't think it ensures he medals. I could easily see, I think Kipsang's better than him, and I think I could easily see Ollie Hoare running him down for the bronze.
John is so into Ollie Hoare, man. If Ollie Hoare doesn't medal, John had better apologize to this point.
Wait, excuse me. Have you guys been paying attention to running? I feel like you just like, 2021 results, copy paste. Those who are going to be, Josh Kerr's not running that well this year either, guys. Like, things change. Ollie Hoare is a lot better runner this year than he was last year, and he was pretty good last year. He just had a shitty Olympics. He didn't run well in the Olympic final, but he was still third in the Diamond League final. Now he's just run 3:47, finished second behind Jakob. He smoked Jake Whiteman, who's one of the best runners in the world in Oslo. And you guys are just you got your head in the sand. I don't understand the Ollie Hoare, but like the Ollie Hoare disrespect here. It's massive.
I was just wondering, Ollie Hoare's on the poll on the homepage. Josh Kerr, not even on there. But granted, the other voting is only getting 1%. But John, Josh Kerr ran very well indoors.
He ran one fast time trial. And look, I'm not saying look, he got beat by Ollie Hoare in the Millrose in the Wanamaker Mile. Let's just put that out there as well. And he got beat by Ollie Hoare in Birmingham in the Diamond League this year. Now, Josh Kerr timed his peak very well for the championship last year, and maybe he hasn't shown his full cards, but he also barely even made the British team. It was only a few hundredths. He beat out Jake Hayward for that final spot. So you're telling me that guy who barely made the British team is now going to go out and get the bronze medal at Worlds? I'm not seeing it.
I actually agree with you, John. It is interesting how things change, right? But maybe that gets back to where I was last year. The rest of these guys aren't that good. Josh Kerr, great season. Oh man, he's so good. Okay, maybe the Olympic bronze is his peak. It's pretty good to get Olympic bronze. Ollie Hoare, same thing. Who's a 326, 327, 328 guy? That's what it's going to take to get the top medal. You got to be that type of guy. I don't think Ollie Hoare's that type of guy. So could Ollie Hoare get a bronze? Yes. Silver? Yes. Gold? No.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think Ollie.
I apologize though.
Right now, like, I'm not saying he's going to win. I think I still picked Jakob, all right? But I'm just saying, if Ollie Hoare is your path to victory, Jakob takes it out. He makes it a 3:29 race. For Jakob, he's trying to run 3:29 from the front, whereas we said, all right, it may not be worth a second a lap, but that's really hard to do. If Ollie Hoare is in 3:29 shape right now, which I think he is, and he just is able to sort of draft and then move by in the home straight, and you run 3:29 to win, and you've got a rabbit the whole way, could I see that happening? I don't think it's out of the question, but Ollie got beat pretty bad. He wasn't, he said his strategy in Oslo, I'm going to go past him with 300 to go. He wasn't strong enough to do that. You got to be strong enough to go with Jakob, and right now I don't think he probably isn't.
Yeah. John, I take it back. Could Ollie Hoare win? Yes. His strategy to win, my apologies. Well, Alan Culpepper's back in the sport. This guy was we're the same era. I was fourth in nationals, and Culpepper was one of the places ahead of me. I'm not sure which one. He probably won or something. But my good buddy Paul Stoneham is huge friends with Culpepper, and I was like, dude, Culpepper, man, the guy, he just sort of like he doesn't run to win. He comes from behind, picks off some people at the end usually. That's Ollie Hoare's strategy to win. He should not go with Culpepper. Go for Culpepper. Go with Ingebrigtsen. If he wants to win this thing, hang back, right, and hope for a little blow up. He needs to shoot for third and hope he gets first. I honestly think that's his way to do it. If he goes out there, assuming the pace is sort of crazy, if it's very fast, like a 3:28 from or if Ingebrigtsen's just like blasting it from like 1,000 out, hold back, wait, kick the last 300. I wouldn't rule it out, John. The more I think about it,
I'm just gonna say world indoors regarding Hoare. Hoare kind of hung back in that race, and he never even sniffed the front. He wasn't. He got out. He missed the medals. He couldn't make that move up. So you'll have more room to move on an outdoor track, but that strategy kind of backfired for him at world indoors.
wasn't Pre also, or for sure Pre, like he came on late to get second. He had no contention for the win. That's the same strategy he needs, and hope the first guy blows up. I think. But is this the men's 1,500 meter show? Like,
okay. Well, wait. Should we talk about Coubertier? We do have an American here. I think Coubertier. I don't think he can medal. No, look. I just want to mention he's the U.S. champion. He was in the news. He cut his finger. He went to the emergency room last weekend. Turns out he's fine. But his agent calls me. He's like, I have his family members are calling me trying to figure out what happened to him, if he's okay. Like, you need to let your readers know he's okay. He wasn't hospitalized or anything. Coubertier, no, I put it in my preview. I have more about it there. I think he's the only American I can see really doing anything. The other guys, Johnny Gregoric and Josh Thompson, I think will be kind of fortunate to get to the final. It would take a big race for them. But in the final, I see Coubertier, basically best case scenario is what we got from Cole Hucker last year. He gets in the final. He runs a big PB. He gets about 6th place, but he's outclassed by the best guys. So could I see Coubertier doing what Cole did last year, running 3:31 for 6th? Yes. But I don't think he's going to be in the medal mix.
I think he could be in the medal mix. You guys are so into Ollie Hoare. Do you know, John, do you know what Ollie Hoare's 800-meter PB is?
Robbie, you get obsessed about 800 PBs. You know these guys don't go out and run all-out 800s in peak fitness all the time, right?
We're all saying that Ingebrigtsen's vulnerable because he only runs 147 this year. Ollie Hoare's PB.
No, I'm not saying that. But anyway, I don't know what his PB is. No.
It's 149.96 according to Telestopsia. Jakob Ingebrigtsen can run that the entire way for a 1,500. 55 seconds per lap is 326.25 according to John Kellogg, I think. So
when's this PB from, by the way, Robert? Can you tell me that?
I'm not sure.
Probably some dual meet in Wisconsin or something. When he was
an indoor dual meet on February 1st of 2020.
But
his 5,000 PB is only 13:09. Ingebrigtsen is faster than him and has better endurance than him. Game over.
Oh wow! You proved it, Robert. Jakob Ingebrigtsen's a better runner than Ollie Hoare. Congratulations. That's a really bold position to take.
Well, no, but I'm saying Coubertier is better too. He's faster 800. He's faster at 5,000.
Well, so Coubertier's 800 that he ran at the freaking Oxy meet this year was 2 seconds faster than some random dual meet Ollie Hoare ran when he was in college at Wisconsin on probably some flat 200-meter track. Why am I supposed to care anything about any of that data? Get back to me when Coubertier runs 3:47 mile. All right.
All right. Who will have the better pro career, Tier or Hawker? Tier or Hoare? I'm saying Tier right now. Let's bet $20 on it when it's all said and done. All right, guys. I'm taking a brief break. Have some fun. I'll come back later.
I think I'm gonna take Ollie Hoare in that. Ollie Hoare right now is better than Coubertier. Coubertier is younger. I mean, they're both really good. I don't want to be viewed as like a Coubertier hater. But anyway, all right. Enough about the 1,500. We need to talk about some other events here.
No, John. We got to talk about Coubertier. Like, is he? I'm half joking here. Is he a strained relationship with his family? Couldn't they just text him or call him? What are they all calling his agent to find out what's going on?
I assume it wasn't like his parents. I'm guessing it was like maybe a cousin or an aunt or something. I did find that weird. I'm like, if you're related to him, you probably have his phone number, right? Like, maybe he wasn't picking up. I don't know.
And this thread was super hot, and Let's Run. People are so damn jaded. They're like, "Oh my god, he's getting transfusion." Like,
yeah, I'm sure he would let the photographer who went with him to the hospital show that and put it on his Instagram stories. Like,
John, you pretend to be transparent. You know, it's like, oh, we think I'm getting EPO. Of course not.
Okay, Well, then what event do you want to talk about then? We've talked with men's 15, we've talked men's 10K.